Good morning, guys. You have a very bare-faced Jessica with you today. I am not doing my makeup today because I'm not really doing anything important. And so I thought that I would give my skin a break, basically. I also, at times, will have a bit of a lisp because I have an ulcer on the front of my tongue because it got nicked by my electric toothbrush. Don't ask me how I did it, but it's a pain in the ass because it's right at the front. It impacts me speaking. It impacts how I'm eating. It does everything. It is for such a small little thing, it is causing me like just so much drama. Anyway, we are making breakfast at the same time because I haven't had breakfast yet. But I thought I would switch on the camera and essentially get down to business with you. I could stand here and talk to you about kind of what I've been up to, but I haven't really been up to much. Work has been an absolute nightmare. It's just so busy. I mean, it's always busy. It kind of goes through, I think people's jobs tend to go through like busy peaks and troughs where you're really busy and then you kind of got nothing on or less on. My job's not like that. It goes from busy to busier to almost impossible and then back down just to plain old busy again. We're in the limbo between really busy and almost impossible. But that is, I mean, it's project management. That's just what happens. So if I was to stand here and complain about it, I should not be doing my job. Anyway, so there's not been much to update you on because that's been my focus for basically my waking hours the past few weeks since, and especially since I had time off to go on the cruise, which hopefully you've all seen that video by now. It was so much fun, really enjoyed it. Like I said during that video, I'm not a travel vlogger, so I didn't want to critique it, but if you ever were considering going on a Disney cruise, do it. It's actually a really great experience and we had a lot of fun. Obviously this was heightened by the fact that we did do the upgrade. It would have been fun regardless, but I think being in a space where, considering the cruise itself is quite busy, but having your own space to really come back and just be apart from the crowds made it a lot better. And then also because the space was so beautiful, because all the suites have been updated. I don't know when, relatively recently though, I feel. That just made it even better because the smaller cabins. Anyway, I'm rambling. But yeah, please go and watch that video. It was a lot of fun. I didn't review it or anything like that, but we're not cruise people. We're definitely people who, when we travel, we hit the ground running and we're doing a lot. Cruising means that you have, you still have a lot to do, especially on the Disney cruise, but it's a different kind of holiday. And it was fantastic for us. We definitely needed the chance to unwind. But I don't think I would ever be able to do week-long cruises, etc. So with all that being said, we are kind of going to just go straight to business for this vlog. So I thought the reason why I switched on the camera is because I'm about to actually go through my house and hopefully my memory serves me well, but hold on one second. We are going to go through my house and I'm basically going to write myself a list of, also, how cool is this? I don't know if I've shown it on another vlog. I purchased this olive oil thing, which apparently is viral. I've never seen it, but Ben, when I showed him, because I was really excited when I bought it, he was like, oh, you purchased the viral olive oil spray thing from Amazon. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was a thing. Maybe it's come into my subconscious, because you know how social media does that. But it's actually fantastic. You can spray, and then you can also push this button and you can pour oil out. And I just love it because it just means that I'm spraying my pans with like actual olive oil and not some weird concoction that those aerosol sprays have. Anyway, back to what I was saying was I'm about to do a walkthrough of my house and see what I want to do for in the lead up to Christmas. So I know that I'm really bad with vlogging in general, so I don't know if anyone's actually picked up on it yet, but my mind kind of goes through phases where I'm either focused on the house or I'm focused on my wardrobe and building my wardrobe. And we've done a bit of time now with our spring summer wardrobe, and it's kind of at the state where I'm pretty happy, at least for now. And so my attention is turning back onto the house, the interiors, the decor. How can I like tweak it so that, by the way, I'm just having fried eggs and I like to add egg whites as well because protein. We also got some sourdough yesterday, so I'm going to slice that up and I'm going to have some sourdough with it. And we also got some guacamole from Harris Farm, which I'm also going to have with it. But anyway, I'm rambling again. So we are going to do a walkthrough. Oh, that's what I was saying. So we're back onto the interiors, how we can like live better in this space. And I'm kind of using Christmas as a bit of an excuse to add to the home and all of that kind of thing. You'll probably also notice that the editing of this portion of the video is going to be choppy and changey just because I'm doing things clanging, and so I stop talking and then I'll edit that noise out and then jump to when I'm talking to you again. So if you're wondering what I'm cutting out, that is what it is. I don't think you needed me to, I don't think you needed to hear me clanging about my saucepans trying to find this lid to cook my eggs. So I edit that out. Anyway, so living in the space better, adding to the house, and I'm quite happy with, it's like my wardrobe when it comes to the Christmas decorations and all of that. I like to build on it and maybe tweak things here and there, but I don't necessarily want to go through every year and like just throw everything out and start again. So having said that, we're going to be building on what we own in terms of Christmas decorations this year. I spent a couple of seasons like getting the tree and the and all of that right. We're going to be changing it a little bit this year, where I'm probably going to go more. I mean, the whole Ralph Lauren Christmas is a total vibe this year, and I'm feeling very inspired by it. Whereas my tree over the past couple of seasons has been very like woodland, natural, like lots of jute, lots of textures and all of that kind of thing in it. And I still want to continue that, but we're going to tweak it a little bit. I'm going to change out the ribbons and make it a little bit more polished, I guess, is the vibe this year. So I already know I need a new tree skirt. I need new ribbon for the tree itself, but also the garland that runs up my stairs. But I also this year want to build on my decorations by getting a few more trinkets just around the house. I don't want it to be cluttered, and I definitely don't want it to be like corny, but just little subtle nods to Christmas is what I like. And because my house is so small, I don't have to do much, which is fantastic. So I'll walk you through where we're going to put the tree this year, where I'm going to kind of add little decorations as well. And also we're going to be stepping outside and we're going to be upping our external decorations as well, which I'm very excited for. But that's why I switched on the camera. But first I'm going to eat my breakfast, and then we can walk around the place and we'll write my list of things that we need to buy, and we'll go from there. Entirety of my banister. I'll be switching out the ribbon that I used to tie it on with. And then I also have some decorations that I tend to put in it. I've got fairy lights that run through the garland. It's It's the Christmas, what's it called? The Christmas faux foliage, like the pine needle kind of garlands, not tinsel or anything like that. And so I run fairy lights through it. Last year I kept it quite minimal, I think, with just the fairy lights, and I think I will probably do the same again. Again, mentioning that I'm switching up the ribbon, which becomes kind of a focal piece for it, because I do like the big bows through it and it looks really nice. So there's that. Then coming down to my living room. So obviously we've got the treadmill here with my sneakers ready to go for me to hop on a bit later. But what we'll do here is very simple. I generally hang our stockings along here. So I think I might get, I'll put the garland up on the banisters first and see how the room feels, but I might put one sort of across the top of our hooks, which should look quite lovely, or maybe even over the TV, depending on whether I feel like it'll be a bit too cluttered. Then I'm going to actually, I think, get a Christmas blanket that will sit on top of that to hide. This blanket gets put on the couch when we're like eating on the couch just to protect it. But I want to cover it with something that's a little bit more Christmassy, maybe like a tartan red blanket or something like that. Then we'll come along here. So I will probably put this away if I'm completely honest, and instead switch up and put some like just Christmas trinkets on here. I'm going to keep my ashtray, which I actually don't think I've ever shown you. So I bought this maybe a month or two ago, this ashtray. I can't say the brand name, but I love it. It's a men's wear line, but Ben was buying from them and I had him add that to the order as well. So I'm going to keep that obviously because it's green and gold and that's Christmassy. But yeah, we'll switch out the orchid for something else. I've got a few bits in my shopping basket from Bed Bath & Table. I haven't decided whether I completely love that yet. So we'll have a look around and then I might end up ordering those if they are the ones that I end up liking the most. And we'll switch out the coral for something Christmassy along there as well. And then I'm also thinking of switching out the blankets and pillows for, again, something a little bit more Christmassy, although it will still be really subtle. I think it'll just be like green cushions of some sort. That's what I've got in my mind. We'll see, maybe switching out or adding some like fully green pillows with some pattern green or something like that. I don't know yet. I haven't found anything just yet. Just along my countertop, will probably add something. I'm not sure yet, to be perfectly honest, because I do like to keep this clear. But maybe if I find something small that's Christmassy, I might add it there just to bring it into the kitchen. Now, I can't believe I'm showing you this. Hold on, I need to get in a better position. So I don't think, it's probably appeared in the background a little bit. But hopefully not too much. But I keep the cushions for my outdoor lounge here in the corner of my dining room, which I absolutely hate, but I hadn't been able to find a suitable outdoor storage box for these cushions. And so they've lived here because when they used to just live on the lounge itself and be covered with the outdoor cover, a possum decided to make that its home because obviously it's nice and soft and protected with the outdoor cover. And so it led to a whole debacle of getting this possum relocated. So I've had to move him in here, and it stopped the possum from coming back and using my lounge as its home. So I've been meaning to find something to store these cushions with to get them out of my dining room space. I just hadn't yet. But like I said, Christmas, I'm using it as an excuse to kind of do the next phase of rejigging my home. And so I've actually ordered a custom cushion case, which will house all of these, and which means that it can live outside when we're not using the space, but it will free up this space in here, but make it still look neat and tidy outside. So when that comes, I'll obviously show you that. I'm not sure of this company though. I've never bought from them before, so I don't want to recommend them until their stuff arrives and I can tell you with all certainty that it is actually worth purchasing. I'm going to hurry up because I've only got 1% battery, so I'm going to have to charge this before we step outside. So anyway, this is going to be removed. It's also got a order that needs to be returned to Next, to Reese, sorry. It's just a pair of trousers. And then that's my sister's birthday present, which her birthday was in September, but one of her gifts arrived late. And I haven't seen her since it arrived, so I haven't given it to her. So that needs to be delivered. Anyway, Christmas tree in this corner, which means obviously that with the kitchen here, I might not need to decorate these cupboards because the tree will kind of like flow into the space anyway. And so we'll move, the battery's flashing at me. So we'll move probably the buffet across. I'll remove my fern that lives there and just put it in the opposite corner of the room, but that should give enough space for the tree. And I think it'll look really lovely there. Or we might do it actually the opposite way. So these move down to here, that plants still move, and then I put the tree in the corner, which I think would also be really nice. But anyway, I've also pulled some stuff that needs to go into storage there, but that's where I'll put the fern, on this side of the room. And that's pretty much it for downstairs. I don't think I'll add any other decorations to this room, actually to any of the other spaces in the house. I think once the tree is up, that'll dictate a lot about whether or not we need to add any more trinkets around the place. But that is sort of the major changes. So I actually don't need to buy a lot. Like I said, I'm just adding to what I already own. I don't want this to look like some Christmas decoration warehouse. So, and I'm very conscious of the fact that I can feel claustrophobic quite quickly, quite easily. And so again, I don't want to fill my space too much with too much decorations and all of that kind of thing. But anyway, as I said, for the tree, I know that I want a different tree skirt because obviously I'm taking my house into a bit more of a polished kind of, I don't know a better word for it than like old money vibe, like Ralph Lauren inspired. Anyway, so I'm gonna get a new tree skirt, changing up the ribbons again on the tree. Some of my decorations, I don't think I'll need to buy any more decorations because I remember last year not actually having enough space on the tree to put everything. And so I don't think I'll need to necessarily buy any new decorations. It'll be more just like paring back or switching things out a little bit. And that'll sort of be it for inside. I've actually got two different Christmas trees. I have one that is like that real forest green. And then I have one that's a more muted, paler kind of green. I'll definitely be using the forest green tree this year. I think it'll just be more in keeping with where I want to take everything. And plus that matches like my garland that goes up and all of that kind of thing. But like I said, I'm going to put you on charge and then we'll go outside and I'll kind of discuss what I want to do with the outside space. Okay, so I think you are relatively straight. You're currently on my cake stand on the ottoman, so I can't be bothered to get my tripod out. So we're just gonna have to deal and hope that you're not completely on a diagonal. But as promised, I wanted to discuss with you what I envision for mine and my neighbors' front porches. So we've got two columns that fall in both of our courtyards, and these are joined together by some brickwork. And so what I want to do is hang some, again, like the Christmas branch type garlands, the tree branch type garlands, across and down the columns. I don't want it to go the whole way, just to add a little bit of something that, again, is just a nice healthy nod to Christmas without being too in your face. I don't want to do a big light show, anything like that. It's not my style. So I've got my iPad here and I have Pinterest on it because I live and breathe Pinterest, but I'll show you some examples of what I would like to do. Hopefully I've saved them. Okay, so to answer my question before, no, you were not straight, because the weight distribution meant that the cake stand to topple over. Anyway, as I was saying, a few examples of what I'm kind of wanting to do. So here is an example, as I'm just scrolling through my Pinterest board. So here is an example of what I want to do with the garland that I have for the staircase, the banister. So I do want to add ribbons that are like this along the way. So I already kind of do it with the jute ribbon that I have currently. But actually I think I used my green velvet ribbon last winter, but this year I want to go red. So it won't be a satin ribbon. I'm hoping to find some thick velvet burgundy ribbon. And I'm contemplating doing something like this over the TV. Obviously this is a fireplace, but I'm thinking of doing something similar over the TV, obviously without the candle stands and all of that kind of thing. But I feel like that would be really nice. But again, I sound like a broken record. I want to do the banisters and then see how much I feel like I actually need for this room. Again, I don't want to fill the space too much. And then what I'm hoping for the tree, well, I'm in two minds about the tree. I don't know whether to do something like this, which I had done with the jute ribbon previously, but again, swapping it out for a red velvet ribbon. So you can see it goes like through and around the tree, just as you would with tinsel. Or to do something like this, which is something I've done in the past, but with green velvet ribbon. Again, I'm just interested in making like little tweaks here and there to what we already own. I don't want to go through and just like redo everything completely. I'll share my Pinterest board. I'll put the link down below for the vibe that we're kind of going for. We're still looking for something that's really really natural in terms of textures and tones, minus the red obviously. But I want something that's just a little bit more polished this year. So we're just stepping it up a notch. I don't have an example of the front doorway, which is quite sad. Give me a minute and I'm sure I will find something, because I just didn't obviously pin it on the weekend. Okay, so what I generally do is I get an idea in my head or a few pictures of inspiration, and then I kind of take that idea, and as I'm actually like trying to do it myself, I tweak it and kind of put my own spin on it. So there are two options that I've found that I could potentially use for outside. The first one is here. So if I bring it up close, you can see it's got the garlands and then it's got lights kind of cascading from the garlands, which I love. So that could be potentially option number one. I haven't bought the lights yet. Again, I just want to take it and see how I go when I actually put it up. Or I'll do something similar to this. This is actually a perfect example. I need to pin this. Something like this. So I don't want to put the garlands on the outside. I want to put it on the inside, like underneath the brickwork, rather than on the front of it all. But this one's on the front, but it'll be something similar. So that one is really pretty. I love that actually. I love that. So we're going for something kind of between those two, I think. Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of the Christmas lights in it, which again is what I did on the staircase anyway. I was originally thinking something like this, but I really want to take advantage of those columns because I think they'll be perfect. Maybe I'll get some lanterns like in this one just by my front door. We'll have to wait and see. see what I can find. I hate, like, so many times in the past, I used to be really wedded to ideas, and it's all well and good, except for the fact that you can't then go out and buy exactly what you like all the time. You know, it's not how life works. So, anyway, yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do. And it might be this Christmas. Not this Christmas, this weekend. So we've got a fair bit to do around the house. I really want to go through and declutter again. I really like to do it before Christmas. I like to do it throughout the year, but there are certain times, sorry, I just had to check the time. There are certain moments in the year that really trigger me to go and declutter my home. And generally it's around the change in seasons. I find that I kind of, I like to do it pretty regularly, but the big triggers are definitely Christmas. And when I have to switch out my wardrobe, that is another huge one. I also get triggered when I'm feeling stressed about different aspects of my life as well. So if work is a lot, I tend to then really feel compelled to declutter my space, I think because for me it's like a sense of control over something in my life. So I really like to do it then. But also for this decluttering, and I don't know if I've mentioned it before in another vlog or even earlier in this one, but I want to take some of the stuff that we've got in our storage unit on site and move it to a storage unit off site. I used to have a storage unit off site. I got rid of it because I managed to kind of cull and get our stuff down to a manageable level. But even though I can still fit everything, I mean only just, into our storage unit downstairs, I think the mental weight of it being a cluttered space, and every time I need to go in there, it's always such a nightmare to find what I want. So I really want to keep like the bare essentials in our on-site storage. So I'm going to get another storage unit to put stuff away off-site. So I want to do that maybe next weekend as well. Just make sure my laptop screen isn't showing. Okay, so that is kind of everything that I wanted to go through with you today. Apologies, it is very much a planning vlog, and not much, what's the word? Not much, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but it's not very like activity based. It's just really me kind of talking to you and mapping things out. So probably not incredibly interesting, but like I said, I wanted to create my shopping list with you for what I needed for Christmas. Anyway, I am rambling, and this was meant to be a quick vlog, just to nut out my ideas, mainly for Christmas. I did call Bella just before, after she finished school, and I said to her, I'm like, we're gonna do the Christmas decorations this weekend, because I really want her to be able to enjoy them as well. If I waited until December, she'd literally have like maybe one weekend with me until she goes away, and then Christmas is over. So sooner rather than later is my approach this year. But anyway, thank you so much for bearing with me during this video. I hope that I articulated myself well. I'm not quite sure. I hope that this wasn't a complete bore to watch. It did also kind of, you know, give you the opportunity to probably see more of my house than you do. And the reason why certain areas obviously haven't been filmed in or showed as much is because, well, you've seen the state of them, and they're kind of in this weird limbo. And so because of that, I don't really want to put anything out there that doesn't reflect me. Anyway, whatever, I'm overthinking. But anyway, thank you again. And if you've also made it this far, extra special thanks. I do really appreciate you all. But anyway, until next time.